Well, now, I just recorded a version of this that was very, very angry, and I'm going to try and make this as succinct as I can. For those of you who've been here for a while, you know that I'm technically Crown Prince of Canada. I refuse to take the throne because, well, to be perfectly honest, they really don't want a monarchy here. The people don't really want a monarchy, and I get that. For years, as a result, the police and I have had a standing understanding because this country is technically a crown, whether they like it or not. It's technically a monarchy by default. It was that way when I was born. Not my fault. I also didn't get to choose the whole being crown prince thing. I didn't ask for this. I spent my life serving my country, and I still do. I do this channel open source. I always have, and I do that for a reason. I contribute the best of what I can contribute. If I had the money, I'd be filing patents instead of just concept patents. I'd carry these to fruition. Instead, the most I can do usually is build a prototype, test it, and build something for myself that's useful and show you how to do the same. Well, that counts for a lot. In fact, I've been able to push forward aeronautical engineering and electrical engineering and a few other areas over the course of the years by doing my channel in a genuine major way. Win awards for that kind of stuff, but it don't come with no money. Long story short, I'm retired. Now, I've been getting actually, I'm famous in my town, which is Ottawa, Canada. Now, the problem comes in where girls in this city are absolutely out of hand. And the welfare office here, at the Catherine Street Welfare Office, is run by women, has been for years. And from the moment that the majority of the managers were women there, I started getting weird phone calls. Next thing you know, I'm getting sexually harassed by these three broads. Turns out there's three managers over at that place. And they've been causing me nothing but problems ever since. I'm about to put them on public blast. And I'm going to showcase what they're doing as a day-to-day thing with my file. Now, for years, this has been going on. And I thought we'd kind of come to a point where this wasn't going to be an issue, but it's just a constant ongoing issue. Girls nowadays in this country, I've had so many issues with the way women behave nowadays. It's appalling. It's disgusting, really. You guys are just retards these days. I'm done with you. So I've been celibate for years. I'll tell you the reason why. Similar story. 3 women who worked at the Toronto Dominion Bank. No, not at the moment. At the time, they worked at the Royal Bank. And another, and another. See, these 3 broads were best friends, and they worked at a bunch of different banks over the years. But at each of those, they were Hell's Angels. And they tried opening accounts in my name. See, I can't have a bank account because of it. The insurance companies won't insure an account in my name. The banks won't insure it. They won't touch an account in my name now because too many criminals have tried to use it to get money that's owed to me because I should be worth billions right now. The government holds all my money and they won't pay it because they're the biggest crooks of them all. This is the kind of country Canada is and why it's falling apart. This needs to be fixed. You guys need to understand how your actions have consequences. So let me give you an idea of how the kind of stuff that's been happening has consequences. So that happened, about 7 years ago. And over the last, really 10 years, for me, it's been a nightmare having to deal with these people since I had to retire. And so it's been getting progressively worse, not better. And the more I ask for help from management, the worse it gets. Well, that's what turned out to be. It was the managers. So I caught them out for that. And apparently they were fired. That's bullshit. They just moved them somewhere else. And I know that. Because within a year or two, the same very worker comes back. So Sarah, Kelly, Brianne, this one's for you. Because there's some other names I could name, Jenny. And guess who's coming for you? Well, I am. Because lawfully, when you've formed a group like that, you're a gang under Canadian law. You're also a gang committing high treason because you've sexually harassed me. Even just sexual harassment of a client. We're going to leave out the whole treason thing right now, and we're just going to deal with the fact that you're welfare workers. You weren't my workers. The person who sent this isn't my worker. You know how I know that? Because after all the bullshit with them over the last several years, they won't let me have a female worker anymore. I don't have a worker. I'm not supposed to have a worker. I also don't get an income statement on my check because I'm not supposed to declare income. So allow me to walk you through this. So every month, I get a cutoff. I have to go down to the office. As soon as I get there, they're very apologetic and sweet and immediately fix it, and I get my money within an hour. This is their ongoing way to treat me like trash because I didn't sleep with them, and I'm celibate. I don't sleep with anybody. And because I'm Crown Prince, and they don't like me. Well, what they don't know is that when gangs target me, I execute them, and that's always been the law. And the outlaws in this town and the Hells Angels are pretty much gonzo because of that. And that's documented fact. That ain't no bullshit brag. That's just how it is. I wish it wasn't that way. I didn't want it to be that way. I got to be friends with a bunch of them after. But the particular ones that were running things at the time were so evil and shit that they needed to go. And as soon as they were, the next 20 years, it's been better. That's people. That's consequences. And that's your crown taking action for you, for the people. And that's what I'm seeing a need to do here. Because these group of girls, and there are more of them than just those 4, have gotten so bad that they are just sexually harassing men, targeting men to do whatever the fuck, screwing with them, slandering them. They'll call them a drug dealer to get them thrown off welfare. They would do it with me, except I'm too well documented. They can't get away with it. And with me, you know what's funny? I've heard so many horror stories from guys over the years about this kind of sexual harassment, and I really need to bring this to the fore right now because this is what I'm dealing with. So for a perfect example, anytime they have a problem with your file, they're supposed to send you a letter like this. See this date? The 22nd, it says. Let me just make sure I'm showing it to you. Right here, the date, May 22nd. Okay? I'm underlining that with my finger. Now, let me show you the postmark on this. And it clearly shows the frickin' 27th. Now, that means they wrote a bullshit letter. And I'm going to call it a bullshit letter because it is. Dear Mr. Robinson, I'm writing to you to inform you about your financial assistance from Ontario Works. I am sorry to tell you we have put your file on hold as of the 22nd. But it sat in the office for a full week before they stuck it in an envelope and mailed it. Then they'll say to me, oh no, we mailed it on time. Oh no, you didn't, and you never have. Because they've told me the same lie before, and this is why I always prove them out. The lies are always very clear. For one, I'm retired. I don't get an income statement. We have put your file on hold because of financial information missing. They don't say what the financial information is. They say, we did not receive financial information about your earnings this month. I'm not supposed to give any. There isn't any format for me to do that. In the old days, you had to have your income statement in by the 15th. They don't do that when you're retired because there isn't any. And they know that. I'm not one of those scumbag retards who works under the table. No, I put all my time into my freaking YouTube channel, and they know that too. So, so they want us to say that I haven't declared my income. Nothing else. Not that I have income that I haven't declared, just that I haven't declared it. Well, they know they're not allowed to ask for that. They literally aren't allowed to ask for that. On top of that, I don't have a worker. They don't issue me a worker anymore because the female workers are so bad, they can't issue me a worker. I literally don't have a worker. So we're going to go and see whose name is on this letter. You know, I ain't seeing one. And if it was from a worker, the worker's name would by law, and I do mean by law, be required to be on the correspondence. It's supposed to have be on their letterhead kind of thing. Not so much. It's on the city's letterhead. But it should, at some point, give you something. Their name, their phone number, their website, anything. But there's nothing here that mentions the worker. Just that I'm on hold, and I can appeal for a review if I'd like. Very generic. Nothing stating specifically that I'm missing particular information. Just that, and the way it's worded, is silly because we did not receive information from your income. Well, you never receive it in the last 5 years, and you're not supposed to receive it. Now, theoretically, I should be able to sort this out with a phone call. It's their mistake. Only they make the same mistake last month. And the month before that, it was that they didn't have my phone number. And the month before that, it was something else. This has been going on for several years. Now, I'm getting older. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting real tired of walking down there to deal with these people. I've tried everything. I've literally tried calling the office, informing them that I'm Crown Prince and that the actions they're taking are literally enough that I could execute them for treason. This message is partly to the police in Ottawa, Canada. You have my live feed. You have all the intel you could possibly need to know that this is real and happening. And if these girls don't get arrested, I'm going to be forced to take action as the Crown. And you know what that means. Now, under Crown law, there's only one penalty, and that's execution. Now, because I didn't take the Crown, and I never planned to, the deal I've made with the police is in Crown matters like this, where they're harassing me, and this is a serious thing now. I mean, this has gotten retarded. And it's caused lots of problems for any landlord I have, for anything like that. I mean, it's just a nightmare. Why? Because some girl didn't get laid. All right, well, this is about to end, one way or the other. Because these girls are going to either have their hate fest right to the grave, because that's what the law allows me to do at this point. And they know it. The police are well aware of this. And the standing deal between me and the police here in Ottawa has been quite simple. If I don't execute them for treason, you can arrest them. If you arrest them first, I won't execute them. You can deal with them under the law. I'm not going to take them out of police custody to execute them. But if I get to them first, they're dead. Generally, that's how that is. And the reason is the law actually requires me to deal with people who do crime against me directly. I'm supposed to just summarily execute them. I should have executed these girls 2 years ago. These particular little group that's there now. And the last group, I should have executed them. And I've been nothing but lenient. Nothing but lenient. But my belief in this matter is, unless serious action is taken, this will just propagate and propagate. Because they just keep hiring the same kind of retard girls. And they're not really weeding out the problematic people, clearly. And so charges are going to either have to be filed or executions are going to have to be made. Now, I've named 4 women. You're going to look into those particular individuals and let me know what's going on. I'm uploading this to YouTube minutes after recording it because I've had my bloody fill. Because here it is, the first. And that's when I got this letter. And therein lies the rub. See, if they had done this legitimately, they could have called my phone and said, hey, sir, we're missing information. If I had a worker, they would have. But I don't have a worker. I'm not supposed to have a worker for exactly this kind of stupid shit. Because they were constantly harassing me on the phone. They hit on me and shit. Calling me on Sundays. And that's documented too. I was told they were going to compensate me for it. For all the bullshit they caused me. For throwing me off welfare because I wouldn't sleep with one of the staff. They put all kinds of lies in my file. They did all kinds of evil shit. It literally put me on the street. It took me years to recover. And when they tell me they're going to compensate me, the girls in charge of the compensation board are the girls that run the place. And these are the girls that I have the problem with. And so this has been ongoing for the last 5 years since they were supposed to compensate me. And it was going on for years before that. So this is pushing on a decade now of this steady kind of shit. And so clearly this is never going to end. Just like gay parades, pedophiles, they don't end until we put an end to it. Nothing evil stops until it is stopped. That's why we have a police force, and that's why you have a fucking crown. For the times where you cops can't do your job, I'm fucking here, and I'm coming. Because this shit involves me, and I'm sick of it. So, this is a warning on 2 hands. 1, to the Ottawa police. You have a job to do. Please get to work. It's fucking important. And it's our goddamn city. And it matters. There's a lot of people they're fucking with. And I know that goddamn shit for a fact, because a lot of them talk to me, bud. 2, they're directly fucking targeting me and have been for the last decade. That shit needs to end, and it's the same group of retards I just named. 2, I don't want to have to execute these people. That was our deal. You people do your jobs. I don't have to do this shit for you. Because when I moved into this town, I didn't clean up the outlaws with your fucking permission, boy. I moved in and I executed them. And I didn't see any of you complaining. Because it made your city better. Well, that's why you need a king. Because there are times like this when it's time to be hard. Well, this is one of them. I'm about to have to walk into the office today. Now, I'm going to do that. And that may not go well for them. Because I'm at the limits of my patience. And as Crown Prince, I really don't have to tolerate it. In fact, as a citizen, I don't have to. Under Canadian law, they're a gang. They've already put me on the street once, and they're trying to do it again. I have the lawful right to execute them. Anybody who interferes with your survival, you have the right to fight them with legal force, especially a gang. Anybody who commits a gangsterism act against you, where a gang has targeted you, you also have the right to execute them. That's a fact under Canadian law. Even if I wasn't Crown Prince, that'd be true. And so, now that the police have been reminded of those two simple laws, please enforce them or I will, because this is the only defense I have. You people won't do your job. I have no choice but to do mine. Keith out.